So Connie and I and the girls traveled back to the island of Tablas, and we began the semester, the first semester of this new school year, at the Bible college where we were both teaching and the one that I was directing. Now, the original plan was, as we discussed it with our mission board, was that we would go anywhere. They asked us to go anywhere for a year, and they would consider our vision for the Middle East. So, and we could minister in English. We prayed about it and said, okay, we'll do that. And so we were assigned then to the Philippines to be the interim director of the Bible College and teaching there in the school, both Connie and I. So we did that, and now we're in our second semester of teaching, the first semester of the next school year, and we're coming toward the end of that, and we were informed by the director who had visited that I think he said the atmosphere wasn't right, something like that, to propose us going to the Middle East. And there have been issues in the past with our denomination and its involvement there in terms of missions. So we were asked to go to Nigeria, and we just didn't feel that was what we were supposed to do. So we declined that, and so they said, okay, well then we'll just come home, bring you home. So we finished our year, and as we finished our year and came home, Connie and the girls left a little sooner than I did at the close of the semester, and then to get the girls back in school in the States, and then I finished up and spent about 3 weeks. I traveled over to the neighboring island of Mindoro, and the interesting thing was that there's a young pastor named Sammy Morales, and Sammy was a good preacher, and he offered to go with me. And so we traveled together over to the island of Mindoro, to San Jose Mindoro, and we spoke in some meetings, churches, and also kind of like rallies. And I said, Sammy, you're a good preacher. Why don't I say hi and whatever, and then you preach? Or why do you even need me? He said, Pastor, you're being a foreigner, you attract attention. And I'd seen that in other places. And he said, well, look at a bigger crowd if you're there. So I said, okay, well, then I'll be there. And I'll say a few words, and then you can interpret, and then you just take over. And that's the way it'll be. So I spoke for like, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, 8 minutes, and then turned it over to Sammy. And it was a blockbuster visit there in several places on the island of Mindoro. And as that brother really was a good preacher, had a good heart for ministry, and we saw people come to Christ together during that time. So then I came back to Tablas. I flew up to Manila, and I want to talk about that flight in this next video. But in any event, there was it was really a good year. Now that we were able to spend there, and we got to know so many people and had such a good time and relationship building and just enjoying the heart and soul and music of the Filipino culture. It was great. It was the best. When the missionaries came back, who had been there for 3.5 years, they'd been somewhere else for a year and a half, then came directly over to this place 3.5 years following that year and a half. So 5 years they'd been outside the United States. And there were some needs that they had, they perceived needs relative to their sons. They had to get back to the States. And that's why we were asked to go for this year. Now, there had been money given to build a Bible college, and there's a woman in the church who was going to be donating some property. And so I was in on that deal. We got the property. We started the building, and it was amazing what happened there. And we kind of tore into the side of a mountain through this property that was given to us and began this construction of a building. I designed it and got a young beginning architect to drop the blueprints for it and the drawings, and they were approved, and we started the building. And the money that had been donated by a church in the States quickly ran out. It wasn't enough to do the whole building. And so the local merchants there, who had become my friends, offered to give us credit. And so I did that to complete the building. and then I ordered extra things to where they could continue after I had left. But the whole infrastructure was up, the windows were in, doors, and all of that. And it was going to be a Bible college that would have 3 classrooms and a library and housing upstairs for girls' dorm and a boys' dorm, and a kitchen in the back. So that was the plan, and that was nearly completed when I had to leave. So when the other couple came back, there was a lot of upset regarding this credit that I had run up, but it was the only way to do it. And so I was told to cease and desist. And I said, "Hey, it's all yours." And they went out to the college and they saw what had happened. And he came back and thanked me and said, "You just did save 3 or 4 years of my life. It's incredible what the Lord has done." And it really was. And so I came back, and I'll talk more about that, what happened when I got back in the next video. But that was our final days, and mission was accomplished. We felt like we did what the Lord had called us to do.